I'm here today with a very special guest, Kelli from KelliPublish.com. Kelli Publish on YouTube, Kelli Publish on Instagram, everywhere. I first heard about Kelli through my friend Steve Rakin over at rakinprofit.com. And when I heard what she was doing, I had to get her on the channel to introduce her to you guys. She's been selling online now for over a decade. And I'm not going to spoil the whole story. I want her to be able to tell it. But she's doing some pretty incredible things right now with Kindle Direct Publishing, KDP. She's also doing some other things as well. So maybe we can get into some of that. But we're going to get into what all that means and how someone like you might be able to get started with it. So Kelli, how are you doing?
I am excellent. What an intro. Thank you so much for having me. This is going to be so much fun.
Yeah, I'm very excited. I like sharing things with people about how to make money online, different unique ways. And this one definitely interests me. So why don't you kind of tell people a little bit about who you are and how you got started with all of this?
Well, I'm Kelli Roberts, also known as Kelli Publish on YouTube and everywhere else. I actually started eBay over 2 decades ago, back in 1998. I did the whole Gary Vee thing, sold old stuff. I found it so fascinating. But then I did the college thing, did the real desk job thing, and it wasn't until about 2010, 2011 that I really went back into eBay again. And I was like, this is so cool. I could quit my job. So I did, went on some hard times. But between, I quit my job in 2012 up until now, I've done a little bit of eBay. I've done Amazon FBA. I've done the whole outsourcing with Kindle Direct Publishing. And now I'm doing the whole no content, low content thing. And I'm also on Amazon merch. So right now I'm balancing the whole Amazon merch with KDP, also known as no content, low content, AKA journals. So that's a little bit about me in a nutshell and what I'm up to and my background.
Very cool. Well, you said a lot of things there that I don't know what they mean. I'm sure a lot of people out there won't know what they mean, but we'll be following up with that. Don't worry, guys, if you're not following the lingo quite yet, because I'm sure Kelli will break that down for us. So let me first, before we get into that, I kind of want to know what has been motivating you to keep doing this and how it was that you were able to quit your job. That's a big step for anyone.
Well, the job I had at the time, it was in the financial industry. I did back office for brokerage accounts. So I updated like addresses, I added funds to the accounts, stuff like that. And the firm I was working for kind of didn't really call it mandatory overtime, but it really was mandatory because when I didn't do it, it reflected in my yearly review. And I was like, no, I have so many interests outside of work. I got to do something about it. So we were just at a thrift store one day, my husband and I saw a few things. I'm like, I can make money with that. So I did. And then I was like, I don't have to do overtime anymore unless I want to. So that's how it started with quitting my job. Just went for it.
That's pretty awesome. So that first little step got you to where you are now.
Yeah, I remember what I sold, getting a review. It's amazing what things you remember.
So let's kind of bring this now into this world of KDP. Can you explain what that is to anyone who doesn't know about it?
Sure. It stands for Kindle Direct Publishing. It's an Amazon platform. You can do so many things on this platform. You can do ebooks and paperbacks. But you can also do writing on ebooks, or with the paperbacks, you can do what I call is no content, low content. It's not like a term you'll find in the dictionary, but you can publish stuff like line journals, planners, puzzle books, so many log books, for medical conditions, weight loss books. So many things are available. The sky's really the limit.
So how does this work? You put up like a PDF and then Amazon prints it, or you print it? How does it all work?
Thank goodness I have no inventory at my home in my little apartment. So it's print on demand. So I submit the interior and the cover. And when someone orders it from Amazon or They also submit it to like Barnes and Noble, wherever they buy it from. The order's placed, the product's printed, shipped to the customer services through Amazon, and then I get a royalty. So that's the beauty of it. Yes, I'm sure I could make a little bit more if I had my own platform, but I love how Amazon takes care of a lot of it.
So my subscribers are going to love this because I'm all about drop shipping, and that's a model where you have no inventory. You can run it from your laptop anywhere in the world. And it sounds like something very similar.
Absolutely. I mean, the downside is, we are playing in Amazon sandbox, so we don't have 100% control, but I haven't found a business yet that's perfect. So you just got to roll with it.
So how did you start the KDP?
KDP, I actually started with the ghostwriting back in, I want to say 2014, 15 or so. And I found a course online, realized that I really don't want to manage other people and the crappy writing they do. And so someone else in the industry who was always also doing ebooks, outsourced ebooks, had a webinar on no content, low content books. And I was like, I don't design. I went to school for political science. I don't know anything about this, but if I can stop hiring writers, I'm going to try it. So that's what I did. Started a little bit, I want to say 2015 I started, and then uploaded my first book in January of 2016, and found it a little boring at first. But then towards quarter 4 of 2016, my husband was making books and making good money, and I'm like, I need to start doing this more. So I took several months off in 2016, but once I saw the money rolling in quarter 4 of 2016, I'm like, I could learn to like this. I'll figure out how to not get bored. Hulu always has good shows, so yeah.
Yeah, quarter 4 will do that to you. That's when.
It's an addiction.
So, question: the ghost writing. So what does that mean?
Pretty much, you can, do it a couple different ways. How I chose to do it, I did the research on Amazon, tried to find a topic that people were searching for, and the need wasn't met yet. So I'd find that topic, and then I would try to find a ghostwriter on a freelancing website. So essentially, I'd hire someone to write about the topic for me, and then I would get it back, do the edits if needed, find a way to do the cover, and publish it under a pen name.
Understood. So it sounds like you could really do a lot with KDP. Like if you're your own author, I'm assuming you can do this too. And is that right?
Absolutely. Me personally, I can't stand writing. I would if I had to, but I always tell my YouTube viewers, you've got to do something you enjoy. Because if you can make $10,000, $20,000 a month, but you hate doing it, what's the point? I mean, you don't have to absolutely love it with all your heart, but in my opinion, I'm not going to do something I hate. I might as well be at a 9-to-5 job again. So that's my whole philosophy.
Exactly, guys. If you don't love what you do, you might as well be back at a 9-to-5 job. Definitely.
Exactly. Yeah.
So you touched on this a little bit, but I want to hear more about why it is that you prefer you called it low content books, right?
Yeah, just the no content, low content, just to differentiate. And like I said, you won't find these terms in a dictionary. When I say no content, I mean like lines and sketchbooks. When I say low content, it's just a little bit more effort, but not the effort needed to write a novel. So I think of like planners and log books and puzzle books, stuff like that.
So why do you prefer those over what you were doing?
I prefer those because they make me money and I can't stand writing. So I really like being creative as well. So I started with the no content because back when I started, there wasn't a lot out there. So I had success with the lines. And if I was having success, why change it? So most of my inventory and my success has just been from lined interiors. It wasn't until recently where lots of people have gotten into this business that I'm having to shift focus to better not better, but taking my time with interiors and stuff like that. And I just think it's a cool business model too. There's so many ways to make money, but if I can be creative, set my own hours, um, I just really enjoy it a lot. And I am so competitive. I love just trying to get good at something. So that's why I'm just keeping at it and trying to get better every day.
So I just want to make sure I'm understanding this right. You are putting up books with blank pages on them and making money from it?
Lined pages,
Line
because
pages.
KDP does not
Lined.
let you have more than two blank pages in a row. They'll say, try again.
Okay.
So I've made quite a good living just with lines. And it's crazy because I mastermind with some people in the industry. And this business is very unique because other people I mastermind with has not had the same success of lines that I have. There's things that they do that I just don't do well in. So it's very like so many ways to approach it.
So these other people in your mastermind and you, it seems like you each find like your own little niche in there.
And then just go with it. Like, for example, they did well with bullet journals. I tried those, I failed miserably. I know some people who did well with composition books from back to school. I didn't fail, but I didn't do too well. So everyone has like their little corner in the market, it seems like, and what they really excel at.
And they're all doing these lower content, no
Low
content books.
content, or yes, exactly.
Wow. It just blows my mind. You're making like lined pages. I mean, I'm not trying to take away from the creativity you put into it, but that's just amazing to me.
Now it has gotten more competitive. So, like I said earlier, that's why I'm trying to shift to more taking more time with the interiors and ultimately maybe just doing my own brand, but just trying to keep learning every day. That's the whole thing.
Okay, so we're already getting some questions,
Yay!
kind of more about the specifics here. Can you just walk us through, like, just talk us a little bit through the process of creating, put it on Amazon, like start to finish, how that works?
Sure. Well, of course, you have to get an account. And I do have a free checklist. We can talk about that at the end or whatever when I talk about where to find me. And before I get started, this is just the basics. You know, some people want to do the research and then design. Some people want to design. But how I do it, I figure out what I want to do, whether that's something I know or I know a niche that has not been fulfilled yet. I'll do the research. And then I will figure out my title, subtitle, pen name, then research the keywords. And then I will, if I don't have the interior done already, because you can use them over and over if you, depending on the interior. I'll do that, and then I'll do the cover, and then I have this all in a spreadsheet. And so I typically do that same process for multiples because uploading is not the funnest, like I said earlier. So I try to upload multiple at a time. And then I rinse and repeat.
So how many books do you have?
Over 6,000.
Wow, that's a lot of
Yeah.
books.
It's quite a few books. I've definitely slowed down, probably since earlier in the year. Most of those were done first 1 to 2 years I was doing this.
That's very cool. So I want to make two observations about that. So my guess is that if you weren't doing these lower content books, you wouldn't have been able to make 6,000 of them. Is that a fair guess?
That's a very fair guess.
Okay.
Yes.
And then the other thing I like about this is that, like you just said, you put in a lot of work earlier in the year, but now you're kind of slowing down, which is probably a good feeling for you if you're still making sales on those books.
I've kind of enjoyed my summer, to be honest, and I've done a little bit more merch recently. So it is cool. I'm not going to lie. I'm always brutally honest. My sales still make me a full-time income, but it's dropping a little bit, but I'm fine with that. If I can enjoy myself, it's all good.
Cool. Um, so you said you make a full-time living. Do you think that's realistic for most people?
To get started, it might be more competitive, and you really got to niche down nowadays. Gone are the days of you just putting up a beautiful cover and it just says my journal. I think the more niche down you can get, the better. For example, don't put out just like an I love dogs journal and expect it to be a bestseller. Try to really narrow down, like I love dogs, coffee, and my nephews, or something like that. But also, like when I was saying earlier, trying to get to taking my time with the interiors, I think that's the way to go as well. Because as you can probably imagine, just putting lines in a cover leads to copycats. And it's a very low barrier of entry. So it's great to start, but definitely just learn your skills and then start taking more time with your interiors. I also tell people as well, don't get in it for the money. Make sure you enjoy it, learn the skills, because this is a long-term business.
Right. Very solid advice. We have Tori in the chat saying, okay, good to know. Focused on unique niches. Does that
Yes.
sound?
For example, one of my niches I've done well at, more on the merch side, but also on the KDP side, is a card game that my grandma used to play that isn't tapped much at all. So just think about what you know, think about maybe your family's hobbies, your kids' hobbies, see if it's already out there, um, and go from there.
Cool. We have Stack and Profits here saying Kelli is the queen of low content books. Do you
What's
have a
up, Patty? How
fanny?
are you doing?
And we have other people. Kevin here saying hello, and Christine Hornback saying hello. I finally found you on a live.
Yay! Thank you guys for coming.
So Nikki's here, wants to know what software you are using to make your books.
For the interiors, I use Keynote, which is the Mac
Oh,
equivalent of PowerPoint. For the covers, I will use the Mac equivalent of PowerPoint, yes. For covers, I use Photoshop. Sorry, I confused myself.
so you just use a Keynote for the inside of it?
Yes.
Wow.
And I found that it's very easy to make shapes and lines and stuff like that. I have other software I want to learn, but it's just so easy on Keynote.
Do you ever outsource any of this?
No, because I enjoy it too much. I did with my puzzle books, I am starting to let go of the reins a little bit, but as far as like the whole no content, like the interiors and stuff like that, I just like the creation process. So I like it too much, but I'm starting to slowly give my fun stuff away.
Wait, I'm. You piqued my interest now with these puzzle books. You got to explain what that is.
Um, Puzzle books. Well, there's this new software that I found that makes it so much easier. But before the software, I was like, I really don't remember how I found it. I've always loved puzzle books as a kid, and I'm like, I need a fun new niche. And so I was just Googling stuff, and I found a cryptogrammed software generator, and it was okay for commercial use. It took some time to put the book together, but I made these books a year and a half ago and they still make me money. So it's kind of cool. I would say if anyone out there is interested in puzzle books, you don't have to buy the software. However, if you search for free stuff, make sure it's good for commercial use. There is a lot of software out there only for personal use.
That's great arbitrage right there. So I want to hear, like, you've been obviously very successful with this, and I want to kind of get a gauge from you why you think that is, because I'm sure there's other people who have started this and tried this and haven't seen your success. Do you have any
That's a
idea?
very good question. It could be because I'm obsessed. I just enjoy it, and I live in Ohio. So when it's cold outside, I don't want to go outside. So I work quite a bit in the wintertime. I don't know. That's a very good question. I also think that I've done some niches that I know stuff about. So I think that's also helpful as well. Like, I know I said dogs earlier, but I don't own a dog. I don't know much about dogs. If I were to put out a dog logbook or a dog journal, I think I would fail miserably because I just don't know the, technical keywords or anything about the breeds. So that could be it too.
When you do have an idea, how do you go through the niche selection process? Is there a research tool you use, or is it just whatever comes to your mind?
Right now, it's actually whatever comes to my mind because I've done so much. I know
Hmm.
what's selling. So, like the puzzle book I'm working on right now are the same types that I did that are still selling from a year and a half ago. So I want to put more of those out. But if I didn't have that, like in the beginning, I would search Amazon quite a bit. I would search, journal A, journal B, just all throughout the alphabet. And I would go in stores. The stores already have products out. They've already done the research for you. So I
Hmm.
would go out there and see what niches are hot and stuff like that. And just paying attention, like at the library and the magazines, and just I have so many pictures on my phone when I'm out and about that I just haven't looked at since I was out there shopping. So those would be some tips of where
I
to find them.
I absolutely love this. So this sounds like it's actually fun for you to
It
do.
is fun. I'm addicted.
I like this a lot. I might have to give this a shot. People who've watched my channel a lot, they know that I like to journal in the morning and at night, all my goals, and I'm constantly like I have two different journals here because I've gone through so many different ones. I haven't found like the one that is like perfect, exactly what I want. So I
You
might
can
just
make your own.
that sounds great to me.
I mean, the only thing is with Amazon, it's just the paperback. So it's like just a normal
Yeah,
book.
that's fine. Yeah.
I have had some reviews that they want spiral bound. So Amazon doesn't have that. But if you're fine, make your own and have it be perfect.
Yeah. Do you sell on any other? Can you do this on any other platforms, or is Amazon really the main one?
Amazon's the main one. I have not found, I mean, there is like Lulu Press, but that requires more marketing. What I like about Amazon is I can just make the products and rely on organic search. But if you have your own platform, your own established audience, there are sites where you can get them made, like I said, Lulu, and I'm sure there's other ones. There's like Redbubble and Zazzle, but they already have their own interiors. You just submit the artwork for it. And Redbubble's kind of cool. Um, they have the spirals. So I really like Redbubble's stuff. But I've only bought them. I've never sold any of my own over there. So I don't know if that's a good way to get the cash coming in, but it's an option.
Gotcha. Yeah, I agree. I There's so many places you can drop ship, and I prefer eBay and Amazon because it's already there, it's already
Yeah.
set up, and it's pretty simple.
I just liked making the products. So yeah.
All right, let's go into the chat. We have Tori here saying content, content, content. If you guys are liking these value bombs being dropped, make sure to give the video a thumbs up. And I'll also put Kelli's YouTube channel down below. You should check that out. She dropped some really valuable videos down there that kind of she doesn't hold anything back in your videos, Kelli.
Well, thank you.
We have Kevin McGuire here. He says, I'm
Hi,
a
Kevin.
PowerPoint master. That's how I do my interiors. And Stack and Profit says, I mainly use Canva and Google Slides to create my books. And I also use paid software, Tangent Templates, that has a lot of interiors.
Yeah, Google Slides is a good option for someone who doesn't have a Mac or doesn't want the Microsoft suite. I have just tried it out, but I haven't really done a full interior with it, but it was very user friendly.
That's great to know. So you can just kind of work with what you're more familiar with.
Yeah, and it's in the cloud, which is awesome.
Yeah, good point. um, let's see. Hey, we have Yang here saying, "Hey Kelli, glad to see you're representing the community." She knows her
Hi,
stuff.
y'all.
sounds like
Thank you.
sounds like all your friends are here.
Yeah.
Oh, great question from Nikki. Nikki's asking, how long does it take on average to put a new book together from idea to first sale?
Um, well, the puzzle book I'm working on right now, I probably started 1 to 2 weeks ago, and my cover shouldn't be back for another 5 days. So probably in total, it's going to take me about 3 weeks. But I did not work on it. I worked on it just a little bit every single day. If I were to have worked on it, one full day, that time could have been cut substantially lower. So I think it also depends on if this is just a hobby for you, a full-time business, stuff like that. Um, if it's a simpler interior, such as a line, not counting your first one, because your first one will take the longest, um, 20 minutes. So it can
Wow.
be up very, very, very quickly. For something like that, like a line journal, it'll take longer for Amazon to actually approve it than it will take you to actually do all the work for it. Because, fun fact, it's not an automated process. Amazon KDP goes through all of them manually. So,
Wow.
yeah, it can take a couple days. Sometimes, if there's not a backlog, it can take just a day.
Have you ever had a book be rejected?
Um, Back in the Kindle days, yes. And, well, rejected or blocked?
I don't know the difference.
Okay. I was thinking blocked. As far as rejected, yes, because depending on the rep you talk to, like they don't like keywords in the author is, like say your author name is awesome journals. Well, they might think the journals is a keyword and they might
Oh,
say, But it also depends on the rep you talk to because it's not consistent. So, um, yes, I have, but it's not a bad rejection. No one really knows how many slaps on the hand it takes to get a banned account.
mm-hmm.
Um, but yeah, I don't. And if I think they're human too, because they manually look at it. If I think it's a wrong rejection, I will contact them, and I have had two reversed. So
Cool.
I don't think it's a bad thing.
Cool. And what's a blocked book then?
Back in the Kindle days, I did the whole stepbrother romance thing,
Okay.
and some of the covers they did not like.
Understood. Okay. uh, make me blush a little bit.
Sorry.
We have Christine here saying, Kelly encouraged me last year, and I began to do the low content books and made some good sales during the holidays. So, claps
Good
for
work.
Christine. And Johnny's asking, are financial checklists something that can be done?
Sure, go for it. I would say go to Amazon and see what people are doing first. In my opinion, if the market has every single product possible and you can't think of anything new, and if none of them are selling, don't waste your time. That's probably part of the process if you were going into a whole new niche that I forgot about. But that's just my opinion. Some people love going into saturated things. I try to find those little nooks and crannies that no one's touched yet.
Great. For you at this point, what is the best thing about KDP for you?
Opportunity, because, like I said, I'm working on a puzzle book, but once I'm done with that, I have a writing prompt idea I want to do. So, with me always liking new things, I think it's an amazing opportunity to try different things, but still publish books. So I think that's the most exciting thing. And work when I want. I mean, how cool is that?
And anywhere you want.
Pretty much. Yeah, I have not taken advantage of that, but that's so true.
Yeah. So there's obviously a lot more to KDP than what we were able to cover in just a half hour. So if people wanted to learn more about it, learn more about you, where should they go?
I mean, you can always go to my channel, youtube.com/Kelli Publish. That's Kelly with an I. I personally never started out with a course. I don't have my own course. However, if you want a course, I do have a couple recommendations on my website, kellypublish.com. Or just start learning on KDP. Open up an account, just start reading the rules and just get started. I really think that this is one of those businesses you learn by doing. There's only so much you can read before you got to publish a book and see what works.
Yeah, I highly suggest you guys, if you're at all interested, check out her YouTube channel. She has videos that will literally walk you through like how to upload to KDP, for instance, and a lot of others. Really great videos. So go ahead and check that out. Check out her Instagram as well. That she has some great stuff in there. You can see all the food she eats. I spent like an hour yesterday looking through all her photos.
Oh,
Um,
thank you.
and Kelly, I'll give you the mic now so you can give what's any last things you want to say to people, words of advice or encouragement before we close it out.
My biggest piece of advice is if this sounds interesting to you at all, just do it. We're coming up to quarter 4, and it's the most exciting time of the year for sales, as you may know already. But don't just get into this business for the money. And that's not because I don't want the more competition. I think it's a really long-term business, and it could be a struggle for you at first. And if you're only in it for the money, if you've seen my video of how much I made one quarter 4, and that's your only reason to do this business, you're in it for the wrong reason. So
Great advice. Well, thank you so much for being here. And if you
thank you so
guys want to check out our channel, again, it'll be linked up down below. I highly encourage it. If you got value out of this, make sure to give the video a thumbs up. And let me know in the comments if you have any questions for Kelli, and maybe I'll have her back on the channel for her to answer them if we get enough questions about it. Thanks again, Kelli. Really appreciate it.
Good. Thank you guys. Have a good night.